It's a dark episode for September the 17th, 2024. I am reading Rudyard Kipling at the moment. And Rudyard Kipling is definitely a racist. Definitely comes from an ideology where, white people should be ruling brown people, people of different colors. Anyone who's not white should be ruled by white people because white people know best. At the very least, specifically people on the Indian subcontinent, not subcontinent, the country of India, because that is where he is based out of, and that is what has been submersed in this ideology, obviously, all of his life, and really pushed this ideology. And pushed it at a time when there were definitely people who were on a different side. He makes fun of those people, uh, indeed, in his fiction, and did a lot of political a lot of art, like White Man's Burden and stuff like that, encouraging others to take up the white man's burden to rule over people who aren't white. Um, so, you know, it's a challenging thing to read. It's challenging, but I mean, it's refreshingly, fairly nakedly what it is. He is not trying to hide this in euphemisms. He's not, trying to shade things or just to go like, oh, I'm not really being racist. Like, no, no. It's like, we are white people. We are superior. We should rule over other people's, which is really racist and really gross. And yeah, I've been reading it for out loud for a while now, and yeah, you have someone who is a good writer, but is pretty vile in what he writes. Um, yeah, yeah. So I don't know how much of Kipling I am actually going to read. It's just I don't know. This is all set in India, so I mean, it's in some ways it's like, well, if you're gonna read Rudyard Kipling in India, and make sure you get a good notion of what's happening. It's sort of like favorite movie critics. They say like, oh, okay, you watch all these movies, old movies, where it's just all white people, and they're like la la, and it's like you have to say like, you have to go with, but you have to assume that they're probably all racist because in the rare instance that a person of color is allowed into these films, they're treated like absolute shit. They're the serving class. They're depicted as subnormal, intellectually. Um, it's like, yes, this is an entire pool of racism, which if they're, and they segregated everyone, so they don't even appear. You wouldn't let them in a club. There's one story in here where they don't let someone they've been all playing cricket with. He's of course not allowed to have dinner with them because he's a black man. That sort of thing. You just it's amazingly saturated in uh, um, white supremacy, and yeah, yeah, it's disquieting. Um, you know, it's disquieting, and maybe that's not a bad thing that it is so fucking disquieting and so unsettling. Just exactly how racist pieces of shit this all is, and that this is your grand. I picked this because it was like, this is, I have a living connection to this time period through my grandfather. And while I don't think my grandfather was, a horribly racist, it's like, wow, but he was born in this time where this was a dominant, accepted view within his lifetime. So yeah, I'm connected to that, and I'm of British heritage myself, so I'm very connected with the British colonial project myself. fuck, I'm sitting in a country that is a product of the British colonial project, so there. And indeed, I've got other books on my docket that definitely express that kind of racism as well. All right, I'm going to leave it there. More videos later.